Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. Egypt is investing some 503 million US dollars in launching and developing national universities. Egypt is allocating $344 million to launch 24 new national universities and $23.4 million to complete the establishment of technological universities. Egypt is investing 9.5 billion Egyptian pounds in establishing and developing the universities as part of the new budget for the fiscal year 2022-2023. According to the finance minister, Dr. Mohamed said the country is allocating 6.5 billion Egyptian pounds to launch 24 new national universities and 442 million that's Egyptian pounds to complete the establishment of technological universities. Meanwhile, 3 billion Egyptian pounds will be invested in developing the 4 national universities existing, comprising Al Galala University, King Salman International University, Al Alamein University, and the new Mansoura University. The budget's total allocations for the university and pre-university education sector and scientific research amounts to 476 billion Egyptian pounds and 79.3 billion Egyptian pounds respectively. Tonight we'll be talking about the role of non-profit national universities in the economic cycle, in the creation of job opportunities, in the development of the skills of the youth, and much more. And we are honored to have with us in the studio the president of Al Galala University, Dr. Mohamed Shinawi. Dr. Shinawi, a great honor having you with us, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, and it's a pleasure and honor. And actually, I would like to thank you.
Thank you.
Because now I see how the media is caring about higher education in Egypt. And when I'm talking about higher education in a program like this, Business Insider, this is exactly what we're looking for. Because now higher education has to be linked and must be linked with what's happening in the whole market and the whole business. So thank you so much for this, because the people, our people, has to be aware that we cannot grow without higher education and health. Those are the 2 main pillars for any growth for any country.
Indeed, Dr. Shinawi, pleasure and honor is ours, sir. Dr. Shinawi, dear viewers, we'll be watching this report about Al Galala University and come back with the president of Al Galala University to continue our discussion on Business Insider. beautiful, precious, dear part of Egypt there in the Suez where Al Galala is located. So we want to talk first about Al Galala University. Dr. Shinawi, one of the first non-profit new national universities to be established in Egypt, right?
Exactly. Galala was established by the presidential decree number 436 for the year 2020. And actually it was one of the challenges. And His Excellency, the President, mentioned, I will show you a university that you will never see, that you never saw before in Egypt. And actually we are very proud that Galala now, after only 2 years, we have 14 faculties, more than 37 programs in multidisciplinary areas with nearly 3,000 students in different disciplines.
Including medicine and engineering.
Medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, engineering, computer science, arts, media, political science.
Food and food industries?
We didn't start that yet, but we want to start it sooner than later. And actually this is one of the areas that we want our people and the community to understand the importance of such discipline. That's why we are talking a lot about it, so that we can launch these programs sooner than later, because the market is in need. One of the most important things about the programs in Galala, how we are linking these programs with the market needs.
There's an artificial intelligence engineering program.
We have, talking about the programs, we have artificial engineering, we have bioinformatics, we have biotechnology, we have nanotechnology, we have megatronics, we have digital media. All of these areas are extremely crucial for the future jobs that we are talking about. And actually we saw the COVID-19 and how the biotechnology, how the bioinformatics was very crucial for the situation, of course, with the medicine and the scientists and the pharmacy.
And last year, Dr. Shinawi, you signed an agreement with Arizona State University, right? To give
actually, we see this as a benchmark and actually one of the achievements, because in His Excellency President Sisi decree for the university, we have a mandate to have cooperation with the most prestigious international universities. That's why when we're looking for a partner, we chose ASU, Arizona State University. Why ASU? Because actually Arizona State University is #1 in innovation in the United States, the second worldwide in the impact ranking, and is one of the best 130 universities worldwide. And not actually partnering in dual degrees only, but actually Galala University, if you saw our logo, it's powered by Arizona State. Powered by means that we are launching dual programs, and this year we are launching 5 programs. Our plan within 5 years, inshallah, to have 35 programs as dual degrees. They are our partners in our research, in our strategic plan, in our marketing, in student exchange, faculty exchange, and actually also we are part of what's called Santana Alliance. Now we have nearly 12 universities, plans to have 50 universities in this alliance within less than 5 years, with more than 1 million students. So you can see how many students we can have and the experience our students will have.
Perfect. Sir, the plateau, the maritime plateau where Al Galala is situated, is 700 meters above sea level. Must be a great weather there for the students. I wanted to ask you about the importance of the development. Before I talk about the development of the skills of the students, what are you doing to the development of the skills of the teaching staff? Of course, one key component of the educational system.
You saw the beautiful buildings we have and the beautiful infrastructure, but this will not grow without the faculty and the administrative staff. That's why we are making a lot of development for the faculty. So we're having a lot of capacity development for them, a lot of webinars, seminars, workshops, orientation with the new systems we are using. We have a lot of cooperation with Arizona State University and a lot of training, the same for the faculty and the administration. This was very crucial because the old way of teaching is no longer applicable with the new generation. We are depending on the interactive learning. That's why this was embedded within our system.
You mentioned earlier the COVID-19 and the effects it must have had on the educational process in Egypt at large. I want to ask you, how did the education change globally and in your university after COVID-19?
It was a pandemic, and we all suffered from, but although we suffered, but there were some benefits. One of the benefits that we started to be more oriented about what we call online learning or the hybrid education. It's not an option now, but it's embedded within our system, within our teaching methodologies. And even in Egypt, before COVID-19, yes, we were in the process of approving the online learning, but now it is embedded already. And this is very important because it's much more easier to get connected with people and professors in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, in Japan. Actually, we have 15 professors from Japan with Hiroshima University. They are teaching in Galala through the hybrid learning. So this is very important. They are teaching with us in the dentistry, engineering, Japanese language, and we added this year the architecture program.
That must be in the digital architecture program.
Exactly.
Of course, the advanced technology there in Japan. By the way, I remember that there is a university called Arizona Tech,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So the fact that you are connected with ASU, do you have any linkage with Arizona Tech, or I mean the role of technology, the emphasis that you put at Al Galala University on technology and on not just teaching programs related to information technology, but using the technology in your programs?
This was very important, and this is what we did with Arizona. If you see what programs we chose as to start with, we are talking about software engineering, we are talking about computer information system, we are talking about administrative science, electrical engineering, and marketing. All of these are the programs that we started, and we are linking a lot of these programs with the technology. This was very crucial for us because we see what are the needs and the job needs and the market needs in the future. That's why we were very keen about that. Plus, what we call is what's called the university requirements. So I'm a professor of surgery. When I was taught surgery before, I was just only taught medicine. But our students in Galala, no, they are taught communication skills. What are the needs for the team management? All of these things, we are talking a lot about that. And we are embedding this in our teaching.
What's your specialty, doctor?
I'm a professor of surgery in Ain Shams University.
Yes, yeah. I mean, what type of surgery?
Oncology, oncosurgery.
Okay, perfect. So, Dr. Shinawi, Egypt is expanding and spending more on education and health, as you mentioned, the two key pillars of the development of any society. Let's talk about the education part, your part, and the higher education. The fact that 12 universities will be launched, also national non-profit ones, and several technological universities as well. Talk to us about the importance of that within the vision,
of course.
Egypt's vision for sustainable development.
Actually, I see what's happening in higher education in Egypt is marvelous. Let's look at what's the situation, what was the situation in 2014 and what's now in 2022 and how we see it in 2032 and what we're planning for 2050. Finally, Egypt is planning for the upcoming 30 years. In 2014, we had only 56 universities, talking about private or public universities or whatever. But we found that we were planning to have 50% of the age group between 18 and 22 years old to be within our higher education system by 2032. This means we nearly want around 5.2 million students in our higher education system. Now the percentage is 35. And all the international recommendations is to have one university for every 1 million population.
Okay.
So today what we achieved, that we are nearly 100 universities. We are talking about public, national, technological, international branch campuses. All of these had been added to our
So we
system.
are already there, 1 per 1
Exactly.
million?
We are nearly there. And this is a great achievement. We nearly added more than 40 universities to our system in less than 7 years. But it's not only about adding the number of universities, but the way we are teaching, the programs we are adding, linking all of these
to the labor market.
And this was a very important step to have the technological universities. We started with 3 technological universities, and we added this year, and they are going to operate 7 another technological universities. And what's very important about these technological universities that they are linked to the area where they are launched. So if we are talking about Damietta, so we're talking about furniture. If we're talking about Luxor, we're talking about tourism. If we're going to talk about Hurghada, we're talking about tourism and fishing. So this was very important, this linkage between the needs of the local market and these technological universities. And it's covering the gap between the public universities and the national universities with the graduates they are coming from, and the laborers and those who are working, and we need those technological people in the middle between in our market, and this was an extreme need for the market.
Indeed. So you at Al Galala in Suez, you must be linked, I guess, to manufacturing, the industries. You must be linked to the services like the shipments, and you must be linked to petrochemicals and their industries as well.
This was one of the things that we started from day zero. What we did that we started, of course, before we started the program that we launched, we'll link it to all of these subjects that you're talking about, sir. But we went to all of these factories, to all the industry around us, and we started to see what are the needs. What do you want from us? How do you want our graduates? How we can serve you? We are your educational and research backup. And that's why we started to have a lot of webinars. Actually, we started the first maritime about transportation conference, and it was a big conference with a lot of our partners about the Red Sea, in the Red Sea, and we're going to launch the second one in February 2023, and we are honored to have His Excellency the Minister of Transportation, the Minister of Higher Education, and all of those attended this. So this shows how important. Also, we launched a big conference in cooperation with Mansoura University about tourism. So we are linked to the needs of the community, but we are not looking only about our local community. We saw what's the needs of the local community, what are the needs of Egypt, what are the needs of the region, and we want to also have what I always say, a universal graduate that's capable to work any place worldwide.
Indeed. The new universities are located in Asyut, Mansoura, Al-Minya, Munufiyya, Ismailiyya, Bani Suef, and Port Said. So I guess we've covered the geography there.
This was one of the plans of the Ministry of Higher Education, that we are not going to be located only around Greater Cairo or Alexandria. And also we didn't mention about that there are 2 other new national universities, one in east of Port Said and the other one east of Ismailiyya. So actually now in the Sinai Peninsula, we are talking about King Salman, we're talking east of Ismailiyya, east of Port Said, plus the Sinai universities, and there are others that are added.
Of course, Al Alamein is covering the north coast.
But
yes.
this was very important to have all of these universities all over the country, not only located around Greater Cairo or Alexandria or the big cities.
Now, thing that comes to mind is, you know, the geographical location of Al Galala University might, at first thought, might not allow, you know, people outside of Suez to go there. But I understand that the proximity, that it's close to Cairo and close to the new, and closer even to the new administrative capital under construction, right?
And actually, this is one of the great things that the country is doing. If you look at Galala University, it's less than 1 hour from New Cairo, and less than 40 minutes from the new capital. And of course, once we have the fast train finalized in Egypt, it will be from Galala, moving to the new capital, to Cairo, to Giza, going to Alamein. And that's why, I will tell you, once we saw that this fast train is being launched, we are starting to have what's called a minor in transportation for our engineering students, so that when they are graduated, we will, and the fast train is finalized, we'll find people and engineers that can serve in this specialty. So actually Galala is, I see it now is becoming more near with the new administrative capital being finalized. Galala is very near to Cairo.
Wonderful. Also, do you have dormitories?
Actually, I wish to be back as a student to sit in such dorms. They are wonderful dorms. And the students, in the beginning, they were a little bit afraid. But what I'm very excited about that sometimes many of our students, during their weekends, they call the families and they say, no, we're not going to get back. We're staying in Galala in our dorms.
That's
So
wonderful.
this is- yes.
I mean, especially, I guess, in the summer semester, I guess, because, I mean, 700 meters above sea level.
Yes.
I mean, the weather must be perfect. It must be very cold in the winter as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And actually, sir, what we're doing, that we are making outsourcing for the dorms, because all the whole city will start and flourish depending on the university. That's why we're started to have outsourcing for the dorms all over the city, so that our students could, if the dorms, because we had 110% capacity for our dorms, we are starting to have this outsourcing, and this is very important to start a new community in Galala. Depending on the university.
Dr. Shinawi, before we go about other parameters or other things we want to discuss here, and especially the linkage of between the higher education programs and the job market, I want to, some results were announced today. I mean, you started accepting some students today, right?
Yes, we have an admission way, and this is very unique and very important, how we admit our students. Because it was always a requirement from the community, not just to depend on our final degrees. So what we do, that we have our students, of course we have the statistics and we have the percentage.
Online, actually
yes.
available to everyone.
We have the, according to the degrees, that's according to the ministry, but we have an online exam where you have to apply, and then we take 70% of your degree in Shinawi Amma, and then 25% of your marks in the exam that we do in the specialty you want to be specialized, and 5% of an exam in critical thinking. And this was very important, the critical thinking exam. And we got out of this
a new grade.
And accordingly you will be joining one of our programs. Today, with His Excellency, and I would like to congratulate him, Professor Ayman Ashur, our new Minister for Higher Education, and allow me to thank His Excellency, Professor Khalid Abdullah, for the great effort he did for the higher education, and wish him the best.
Now taking over the portfolio of health, yes.
And this is very important to have this
Yeah, both of
cooperation,
them at some stage, yes.
Yes, of course.
Great responsibility.
With His Excellency Professor Ayman Ashur, today we had the announced about the new statistics and the degrees for accepting for Shinawi Amma, for accepting in the new national and the private universities. So we're talking medicine is around 80%, the dentistry is around medicine 82%, dentistry 80%, and going engineering is around 68%.
68.
Yes, and this is actually very healthy, because before what we saw in Shinawi Amma's results were not true. But if you remember, our fathers, they entered the engineering with these numbers. So we are getting to the norm. This is exactly the norm.
But you entered the Faculty of Medicine with a high score.
Actually, mine was, the lowest was 84%, I got 93.2.
Wow.
But,
that's fantastic. Yeah.
So actually we are getting back to the norm. And this is very healthy for our community. And we ask that, I always say to our students when they are applying for Shinawi Amma, or for applying for universities, don't be deceived with the numbers that you get in Shinawi Amma. It shows your university and your career according to what are the business needs, what are the market needs, plus what are your skills. Are you going, after you graduate, what are the jobs that you would like to join? What are you going to be having a job or not? So don't be deceived, please, by your marks in Shinawi Amma.
Indeed, the President's directives when it came to upgrading the higher education system were to focus on modern sciences and scientific fields that could prepare graduates for the modern labor market, whether inside the country or abroad. So let's talk a bit about the labor market, and it's not only about a program that the students embark on in universities nowadays, but certainly there are programs to develop their skills, right? again, supervised or overseen by the university itself.
And this is exactly what we are doing, and what we added to Galala University is what we have, what's called professor of practice. So when we are teaching our students, yes, we have our professors, but also we invite the leaders in the market, according to the discipline, to be joining us in teaching our students. But it's not only depending, sir, about the teaching and the programs, as you mentioned. Actually, Galala also started to be incorporated with the scientific research. Out of Galala, in less than 2 years, we have nearly more than 250 scientific papers coming out of Galala University. Nearly 44% of those are in Q1 journals. But we are not stopping there. We are trying to link all of these scientific publications that's coming with the market and to have our startup. And the country is allowing us through what's called the scientific incentive law that allows, as a university, to have our own startups and our own companies. And this was very important to link the universities with the business and to have this and to have the scientific research actually transferred and what we call translational research. This was very crucial.
What is meant, Dr. Shinawi, by the fourth generation universities? I mean, the term we read a lot.
We are a smart university. This is depending on our SIS, LMS, the way we are teaching our students, all the infrastructure that we have in Galala University. No more the students, they don't have books, but everything is digital. And it's not only about that, but also about the way we are interacting with our students. So we are really one of these first smart universities in the country.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that are facing higher education in Egypt generally today, and specifically the new national non-profit universities like yours?
Of course, we needed to change our programs. We looked at the higher education and we found that there are 4 things that we need to start working on. First was to increase our capacity, and this is what we are doing with increasing the number. The second thing was the reform of higher education, and this is exactly what we are doing by reforming all the programs or the curricula that we are doing and linking all of these with the market needs and what are the business are in need for. And the 4th thing was internationalization. And when I'm talking about internationalization, it's not only about having a university having a dual degree, but a true internationalization of our higher education system. And actually, we were very proud that in 2018, we have the law for international branch campuses that allows for international universities to have their own branch campuses in Egypt. And for now, we have 6 branch campuses in the country, and this is a lot of investment for the country and opening a lot of doors for trans education in the country. For Galala, of course, we are a startup. We started 2 years ago. It was not an easy task, but actually I see that, alhamdulillah, Galala is extremely going on the rise. But having the faculty that's appointed in the university was one of the challenges. We were very selective in having our faculty. The students they thought that Galala is far, we're not going there, but once they came and people are visiting us, this was very easy. The marketing for the new programs, because people are not aware about our new program that we are offering, so that they start to understand what are the type of these programs and that they are really in need. To continue our infrastructure was very important, to have all this, the labs to be finalized, bringing all of this. Of course, with the COVID-19, this was a challenge. With the economic situation, this is another challenge. But I could say that we are trying to overcome all these challenges in order to fulfill all the needs that for our students and our professors to have the #1 university in the country.
Dr. Shinawi, for years in Egypt, we had been saying that we're not spending enough on scientific research. Is this changing now? And where would you like to see the spending on scientific research specifically?
Yes, this was one of the challenges. And actually, the country started to thought about it. And I always I want always to talk in numbers. For the first time, Egypt is #1 in scientific publication in whole Africa. We exceeded South Africa for the first time in 2022 with nearly 33,000 publications. Also, we became number 26 worldwide in the number of scientific publications. But one of the challenges that I hope that I would like to see is how these scientific publications are transferred into patents, are transferred to the market, are transferred to real business. This is the link. Because when we are looking at any scientific publications, we are looking what's called the TRL, or technology readiness level. We are always between 1 and 4, while those from 6 to 9 are ready for the technology transfer to the market. The Death Valley is between 4 and 6. We want to exceed this and to overcome this Death Valley between 4 and 6 and start to have more of our scientific research and our scientific publications in the area between 6 and 9, what we call innovation action, so that we can see an outcome and a product that will really affect our community and our people.
Indeed, and I remember that whilst we were talking now earlier, you said that you are telling the companies or the factories around you and in the country that you are their research engine. They could use your publications, your scientific efforts as data for them to develop their businesses.
So it's building trust. The industry needs to build trust in the universities in general. So this build of trust was very crucial for us. And I think now we are in this era. We're starting to build the trust between the academia and the industry, between the business and the academia. This is very crucial in any country. So what Egypt now is doing through a lot of efforts and a lot of things, this trust is being built and these bridges are being started to have these bridges between
very important indeed.
Yes.
Because I guess for years you would be hearing the business people saying, oh, you know nothing about our business. I mean, you're just academic minds, you're the most brilliant, you're the smartest, everything, but business is totally different. So this is very important what you're mentioning here.
Yes.
Are we building the trust?
Yes, we are building the trust and we're building the bridges, but it's not only words. We have to see this in action. Having this in action, having our students going to the business, having our professors going to the business, going to the industry, going to the market. This is what we are doing. Our students are not only staying in the university, but you'll find them in the new administrative capital. You'll find them in going to the banks if they are in the business school. They are going to El Muazz Street to see what's happening. Linking them, those of the nanotechnology are going to the labs, or the biotechnology going to the labs. The students of the medicine, yes, we are teaching them a lot, but the practical part is very crucial now for all disciplines. And not only that, the interdisciplinarity or the multidiscipline between the programs is very important, so that I may be a student of business, but in some areas the professor of media is giving me communication skills. I'm a student of biotechnology, but I have in Galala the option that I could have a minor in business. So having a major and minor also will make a lot of change for our students. So we are in Galala, we are offering major and minors, and the minors are in business, in architecture, in other different disciplines.
A couple of questions I have before we leave. The time has gone very fast, very quickly with you, Dr. Shinawi. Scholarships, are you giving scholarships, their number? Who are you giving them to? Because, you know, of course, the new national universities, the non-profit universities, are less costly than the private ones and the international ones and so on. But nothing is cheap nowadays. I mean, nothing is. So tell us about the scholarships, the parameters that you set for the scholarships, their numbers, and so on.
Thank you so much for asking this question, because people are thinking that we build these universities only for those who can afford. Actually, no. The country was very keen about those who are scoring high, so we are giving a free and total scholarships for the first 300 in all Shinawi Amma.
300.
300. This is number one. We're giving scholarships up to 50% for those who scored more than 92% in the scientific part, or 82, 87, 90% in the mathematics, or 82 in the
Science?
literature, in the literature. And then we didn't forget about our athletes.
Yeah, I was going to ask
So
about
we're giving
that.
them 100% over those who scored a gold medal in any of the international.
100%.
100%. If they got a silver medal, we're giving them 50% scholarship. If they got a bronze, 25%. Or who didn't forget about the local tournaments, and we're giving them 50% for the gold, and decreasing.
Is that just for individual sports or also for team sports?
For team sports, for
So
any sports.
so an athlete plays,
Yes.
for instance, for Zamalek.
Yes.
And they win the league.
Or Ahli.
Or Ahli, of course. And they win the league. And they in the under 18 or under 20 football tournament, say.
Yes.
So they get the
Yes, sir.
scholarship?
We are giving them all scholarship.
Wow.
And we were very keen also about the dual degrees with Arizona, because we are decreasing a lot. If you are going to travel to Arizona, you are going to pay a lot of money. Actually, you are going to pay nearly 20% of what we were going to pay if you travel. But on that, we are giving 35% scholarships for those who scored more than 90%, or 25% for those who scored nearly 80%. And we are giving all of those who are going to join the dual degree with Arizona, whatever your score is 20% scholarships, so that we attract more students and have them giving them this very important
Perfect.
chance.
Because I have a couple of minutes left, I want to ask about the people with special abilities and what do you offer for them, and also about the ratio of the female, of the girls to the boys you have, and the female students to the boys students that you have.
We are honored that we are one of the first national universities to give a very important care for the special needs, and we are opening a lot of programs for them, and they can apply directly to the university, and even we are giving them scholarships with many of the community here, and they are giving a lot of non-governmental organizations. They are giving a lot of the NGOs. They are giving scholarships for the special needs with Galala University, and they will be within the norm stream. They are being taught with them. This is number one. For the females, Egypt is always proud that the percentage of females in the higher education is about 53% compared to 47% for the boys. Seeing that the girls are much more concentrating on their
and it's the same in your university.
Yes. Nearly 50% to 50%.
Perfect. And unfortunately, dear viewers, that's all the time we have. We have to end it here. On behalf of you, we thank very much the president of Al Galala University, Dr. Mohamed Shinawi. Dr. Shinawi, it's been a great honor and pleasure having you with us.
It was my pleasure and honor, and I wish that you come and visit us in Galala sooner than later.
Inshallah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Shinawi, the president of Al Galala University. Dear viewers, that is it for Business Insider for this week. Please join us again, same time next week. Until then, this is Mohamed Abdurrahim, and this is a goodbye.